and multiple TikTok channels. And so, yeah, I forgot to go live on a couple of the channels. Aw. Well, you know what you could try? Have you ever done automatic or like automatic writing? So every day I do automatic writing. I channel messages. And when I channel those messages, yeah, I tried just speaking it. Yeah, when I just like I get myself really centered or really really centered into myself, really grounded, some nice deep breaths, so my nervous system's nice and regulated. And then I ask the question and I just write down whatever comes out, right? So that could be a suggestion. Might help. You could sing it. Ah. I know you'll figure it out. I was corporate before in a lot of ways, working in occupational health and pharmaceutical company, or even when you think about being, the director of nursing and working in management, right? Yeah. I am sure that you're going to figure it all out. Yeah, so the book that came out today is Sha'Ryah and the Ghost Who is Afraid of the Dark. And it is the 7th book in the Unlikely Heroine Chronicles. And it's written for my niece Sha'Ryah. And it also, I write it. There's 4 girls in the books, and 3 of them are either my niece or granddaughter. And then the one is Tiana, and that's loosely kind of named after me. So these 4 girls go out and they interact with mythical beings. Like the one book was about a goblin. There's been a story about a phoenix. There's been one about a Pegasus, and stuff like that. So they're just bringing a little bit of magic, a little whimsy, a little mystic stuff, fantasy to life. So they have these beautiful little encounters, and there's always something that's being learned or taught, I should say, that gets taught through the story. And yeah, they're really cute books. I get it tomorrow, so on Wednesday I'll do a little preview of it on the air. But she's book 7. Book 8, they come out every single either solstice or on the equinox. Each one comes out on a specific one of those. Okay, what are we going to talk about today? So I was talking about doing the sacred marriage ceremony with the sun, so I did a sacred marriage ceremony with Mother Gaia, the directions, and the elements. Hello, I'm from Canada as well. Whereabouts in Canada? I've been from side to side. I drove all the way from coast to coast. I left Alberta the one time. I didn't. BC, nice. I lived in BC for a while, about 10 years of my life, but yeah. Whereabouts in BC? I mean, if you don't mind sharing, you don't have to give away too much information. Hi, Anandi. Hello. One of the places that I really liked was Hope, British Columbia. I lived in Surrey. I lived in Surrey, and I lived out in Langley. Yeah. Hi, Sparrow. How are you, love? Okay, so I was talking about the sacred ceremony that I did today, and I was strongly suggesting that everybody do the same sacred ceremony. And you don't have to do it to the extent that I did it, but just to go into sacred relationship with the earth, with the elements, with the directions. Sure. I mean, maybe you don't want to do the directions, but at least go into sacred relationship with, nice. At least go into sacred relationship with the earth, with the elements, and with source, right? If we think about that, we are spirits having a human experience. So Father Sky, Mother Earth, if you want to, look at it in that kind of poetic way. But we should be in relationship with all of that. Nice. I do too. Like I've said before, that I have had the absolute pleasure of being able to see the field of consciousness. And even like now, I've always looked like static everywhere. But the static became more than just static, where you can see like things, you can see waveforms, and you can see more, you can see movement. And there's been times when I've been able to see even far more than that. And it's just opened me up to what's real, what's real. And the ether element is the element that we really, really all need to remember, and we need to get into relationship with again, right? I remind everybody about Coco every time I talk about this, because in Coco, the one person that had passed away, so it was a spirit, and when the last person that remembered that spirit died, that spirit vanished, right? So it's the whole concept that it's teaching, is that when the last person when the last person forgets, then that thing disappears, right? Like it needs to be remembered in order to exist. So when we think about how certain things have been pushed into, mysticism and woo-woo and fairy tale and folklore, but there's a lot of truths out there. It's just that because they're phrased in that way, or they're shared in that way, and the belief system collectively becomes, that's fairy tale, that's folklore. So because we think that way, we don't believe it's real. And because so many people don't believe it's real, the collective reality becomes that they are not seen, right? We don't see them, or very seldom. So we have to, as a collective, begin to work with those things, begin to remember them, right? And that's what we needed to do for ourselves, is remember who and what we are, and how we're meant to live, why we decided to come here this time. I mean, I'm sure that a big part of it was for your own evolution, right? We came here to remember who and what we are. And in remembering who and what we are, we connect to our spirit. It's not about us leaving our bodies and going back to the spirit form. It's about us connecting to our spirit and bringing it into our bodies. So that I love you too. Mwah. Have a wonderful night, and best of luck with your speech. Right. So when hello, I lost my train of thought. It'll come back. It'll come back. Yeah. It's just being in sacred relationship. There's tea. I talked about this before. When you think about all of the elements, so I'm having a cup of tea, right? What all is involved in my tea? I have water, so the water element. I have tea, which is the earth element. I have heat from the fire, right? I have my breath, and, spirit is everywhere. Spirit is in, around, it's all over, right? That's the ether element is everywhere. So you're literally sitting with all the elements every time you're drinking or eating something. And sure, you could argue that, well, cold water wouldn't necessarily, but considering water cycles through the earth, like it's always alive. Yeah, without the elements, we're nothing, right? That's what God is, the collective field of consciousness. God is life that runs through everything and around everything, and, connects everything. It's the unity principle of the elements. And so when they took the ether element out of the periodic table and they told us it was nothing, they were taking us away from the truth of what God is, right? And it's not some dude sitting on a throne saying, you may enter heaven and you may not. God's not judgmental at all. It's energy, and it's pure consciousness, pure creation, pure love. And when you see it in the field, right? So when you start to interact with it, the more that you interact with it, the more that you're going to see it, because it's going to make it, it's going to become into relationship with you within the, everything that's that triad stuff, right? Yeah. I live a very, I'm very blessed, and for a lot of reasons, because the place that I live in, I'm very lucky because I have a very private space. I have lots of light. I have, like I'm safe, right? Like I have lots of nature, and I'm not somebody that goes in. I cut as little grass as I have to. And here it's not like it's grass anyway, it's field, right? So you're cutting clover, and you're cutting all kinds of herbs, or people might say weeds, but you're cutting an ecosystem. And when I'm out there and I have to cut certain areas of grass, I cut grass so that my dog, he has one spot that he likes to go to the bathroom in. So I cut his bathroom grass so that it's not, an issue. But when I'm cutting the grass, I'm apologizing. I'm apologizing because there's times when I'm going to cut over clover and I'm seeing bumblebees on it. And I'm just like, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I don't want to cut this. But like, luckily enough, I don't cut a lot of it. So there's a whole bunch of life that's there. Yeah. Oh yeah. So much waste, right? Yeah. So it's been the most beautiful part of the journey thus far, has been this part of the journey where, I'm starting to remember all the reasons why, and to have those interactions where you can see the field of consciousness and interact with it. That has been such a just beautiful thing to experience. Yeah. I worked in healthcare, and, there's a lot of ways in which even that saddens me, because I see the truth of what it is now, right? And it's not what we think it is, right? It's really sad. We're life, we're living, we're alive, right? And there's so many things in the world right now that are opposing life. I don't understand how we tolerate as a society when somebody with a lot of money sits on a stage and talks about depopulation. That's like killing us. Right? Like, how does somebody get away with talking about eliminating humans, like killing people, and like publicly, and because they have money, they somehow get to say that, and nobody says anything, nobody does anything? Like people that are plotting for the demise of a lot of people in society, and we just sit back and just like, oh, whatever. I mean, he's got money. Whatever, they got money. Right? Like, no, we're not in too deep. We're not in too deep. Never agree with that. Hi, sweetheart. No, we know we win. I got to tell you, we win. We totally win. Right? You agree, right? We win. I got agreements on that side. But yeah, it's just, we do. Right. And we're going to do it because of things like this, right? Of restoring that sacred relationship with yourself. When we start to remember the truth of who and what God is, as well as who and what we are, right? We restore that truth to earth, and we don't have to fight. We just have to withdraw our attention, because one of the things that we are very much so is creators, because we carry the God spark, and that's what creation is. So when you get all that programming and all that pushing, the reason why there's all that programming and stuff is so that you and me and everyone else that agrees with what the programming is putting out there, we create that reality. Our collective consciousness determines that that's the truth, because the bulk of us believe it. That's how we create our collective reality. You have your own individual reality, which based off of your belief systems and all the things that you experience day to day in your life, and your specific worldview, which can change. Hopefully it changes. That's what metacognition is the ability to look at your own thoughts and go, why do I think that? Or, why do I believe that? Who taught me to believe that? And does it still hold true? That's metacognition. And that's what we're supposed to be heading towards. That's how you awaken and heal anyway, is through that ability to look within and say, wait a second. I went at one point on my healing journey, I was like, wait a second, all of my relationships have had, problems. I'm the common denominator. Uh-oh. What was that telling me? That I needed to do something. And it wasn't necessarily that, there was anything wrong with me. I was dealing with a lot of traumas and didn't know how to manage my emotions very well. I was wearing a lot of masks like everybody else does. I had all these things, I had to produce to perform. I had to be performing or producing to be worthy of anything. If I wasn't in a relationship, I don't think I was lovable. I had all those things. You keep powering through, right? You keep powering through. Yeah, we just have to be questioning things, right? Questioning what is going on. Yeah, that's all I do. It offends a lot of people, and I don't care. Some of my friends that are, not quite where I am with their belief system, I will sometimes like guard my tongue with what I say, right? But for the most part, a trained instructor in what? I have a lot of training in a lot of different things, and I teach a lot of different things. Yeah, I do. I only got a couple friends, and I'm okay with that. I'm very okay with that. The people that can tolerate me, they can tolerate the truth, and that's a rare thing. So I can tell you a bit about me that might help, because some people might not know some of my story, so that could help. I've done a whole host of different things, but predominantly for 20 some years, I was a registered nurse. I worked as a flight nurse. I worked in the ER. I worked in management for many, many years, and I worked in occupational health and a whole bunch of different things. Hello, nice to meet you. Nice. I left nursing when I went through my healing journey for my trauma and subsequent other diagnoses that they gave me, because they just kept giving another acronym to me, and it was just like, okay. And then it was just pill after pill after pill after pill. What are you talking about? I don't understand what the comment meant. It says, no, not interested. Thanks. I am of purpose as well as you should be, as well as you should be, not talking about nothing. I didn't realize that explaining who and what how I was trained, or what I'm teaching, or what I'm instructing, that was nothing. What are you talking about? What word am I, what definitions of words do I not know, sir? Please enlighten me. And this is my channel, and I'm free to share whatever I feel. And if you disagree with what I share, you're free to disagree and continue on your merry little way and go find people that do align with you. I don't have to align with everybody. I speak my truth, and that's all I speak. And you can be offended by that all you want. So then leave. Right? Okay, I have some things that we want to do today and talk about today, and things a lot more fun than that, right? So, which one do we want to do first? Which one? You know what? Let's do a couple of little cards, right? Let's pull a couple of cards. Okay. All right. Were any of you offended by anything that I said? Did anything that I say push you? Right? Thank you. Oh, I do. Trust me, I know that. I did a sacred marriage with the land and the elements and the directions today. A sacred marriage. My home is a sanctuary. I know the stuff that you have no idea how much I love the land and how much I take care of the land. Like, I don't understand why you're coming at me like I've offended you or attacked you in some way. Like, I really don't understand that. Like, you have no idea who I am or what I stand for, what my content's about. Like, you come in 1 minute, meet me, and then start chewing me out and yelling and basically yelling at me. Like, I can feel the energy that's coming at me. Like, you're not polite. You're not having a conversation. You're not communicating. Right? Like, I don't understand where I offended you, but I know who I am and what I stand for. And trust me, I stand for life, all life. And that's what my channel stands for. Oh my goodness. Jeez Louise. You have no power or authority over me. Jeez, you're in my body. That's what he says to me. You're in my body and you're on my planet. You comply with crew or you will walk the plank. Yes, I'm talking life and death. Seriously, buddy? There. Thank you. I just blocked him and deleted him. That was enough. Okay, I'm going to do a little breathing. And thank you for saying the wonderful, the hair thing. I need to do a little bit of breathing. It's on, I'm on multiple channels and I'm on YouTube, and I shut down my YouTube channel for a while because a long time ago, like a couple of years ago, I was doing tarot cards. I used to sit on here for like 3 hours a day and I would just dole out tarot cards. And I had my moderators, they would keep a list of the people that came in the order that they came in. And if someone came in that was a subscriber, they would get priority. That was the one thing that we did, right? We were like, you can get priority. Yes, and my crystals aren't here. I took them out to do my ceremony. Normally I have protection crystals sitting between me and the screens, but I took the crystals away. But anyway, I'll have to get them there. That's a very good thing. I like that thought. They need to eat healthier, right? So yeah, I was doling out cards, and my moderators would keep track of the order of the people when they came in and asked for a card. And I had this person show up on my YouTube channel and they said, "Can I get a card?" And I went, "Yep, you can get a card and I'll put you on the list." So then the next person, like when I was ready to do the next tarot reading, my moderator told me who the next I could see the list, right? The next person, and I did their cards. Well, that person that just asked for a card, they were like, "I was next. I should have been next. And you didn't call on me. You're racist." And after that, I started getting attacked, and I got attacked so bad by the people on TikTok on YouTube, that they were threatening to find out where I lived. They were going to come and hurt me and all this other stuff. So I shut down my YouTube channel, and I didn't go on it at all. So that dude, when he said that about, yes, I'm talking life and death, that's it. You're banned. Get off my channel. Like, I don't even care if you're like, if whatever you're talking about, like my dog knows I'm a little bit agitated about that because he caught up. He's like, oh, I'm going to go check out the other room. So I'm going to take a breath. Oh, they attacked me. They attacked me. It just became an onslaught of them. Like, just, it was horrible. And then they started coming over onto TikTok. And so my mods had to keep like deleting them. I don't know. People kept like, they were like, I think it's like bots or something like that, but I don't know. I just had to take a break. I was like, nope, I'm not dealing with those types of threats. Thank you. I will. Nope. Nice. Dandelion tea is lovely. So good for you. So good for you. Okay. So the card that came out is the Living Legacy card. And the living legacy is my life contributes to the future. And it does, because we're interacting with the field all the time. So if you're interacting with the field in honesty, if you're interacting with the field with love, if you're interacting with the field as sacred, then the legacy that you're leaving is that. Okay. It's going to be leaving the legacy of love. It's going to be leaving the legacy of being like a steward of the land. And we are meant to be upholding life, all life, right? We are meant to look at whatever's going on in the world where it is opposing life. We're meant to say, no, we don't do that, right? Because we should be holding up life. We should be taking care of life. We should be looking after the vulnerable. We should be protecting the planet. We should be protecting those that can't speak for themselves. And the trees can't speak for themselves. You know, the animals can't speak for themselves. So we should be taking care of them as stewards of the land, as stewards of life, right? It's like, it's the same thing when it comes to the unborn child. And this can be something that people will say is very controversial, right? But, you know, this is where it would be my belief system, where I think that, you know, we are being convinced to do it because of this whole my body, my choice stuff. At the end of the day, it's because, did you know that organ harvesting is a big business? And we've already been told what the people at the top really like to do. There's certain little things that they like to eat that are absolutely beyond horrific, right? So when you think about that and you apply it to why they're saying, go ahead. It's not a life until it's born. So go ahead. Anytime up until 9 months, go ahead. Because they know that they can make money and they can get stuff. And that's gross, but it's the truth. And we are meant to say that life is sacred, right? And if we look at ourselves as sacred, right? But it's so complex, because part of the problem is that they have hypersexualized everything from children up, right? The fact that there is a licenza for girls, like for children, right? So you can go in and get your teeny little tot, a little baby doll that looks like it's mother's lingerie, right? The fact that in kids' cartoons, there's like the sex word, there's all kinds of stuff all over the screens, and that's subliminal in the messaging. There's subliminal stuff in music all over the place, right? So we hypersexualize people, make it all about sex, and then they're ready to go have sex at very young ages and, you know, all that other stuff. So then they say that, well, we like, people are all these babies are being, you know, like accidents are happening, like, you know, like her body, her choice. She's too young to have a baby. She's not responsible, but she's, you know, all these reasons. You know how you don't have babies? You don't have sex. If you think of yourself as sacred and you have confidence, right? then you don't have sex. Right? Not necessarily. It's the whole system, right? And that's the problem, is we look at it and it's like, well, this, right? Or well, that. And the thing is the whole system's just dysfunctional. It's inverted, right? And so we have to fix the whole thing. We have to fix the whole thing. But it starts with us at this point. We literally have to start with ourselves. All right, so this one here, my life contributes to the future. The remembrance is that daily actions accumulate into legacy. So your small choices scale over time, and your intention is guiding your direction. So choose one habit to build, do it today, repeat it tomorrow, right? There was a time when there was no way I would have I painted that. I painted all of these cards, right? And it took me a while to feel confident enough to do that, right? I can't do that. But you know what made me do it? Well, because I started painting every morning. And because I started painting every morning, but surprise, I got better. and then I just said, you know what, do it. So the first deck of cards that I don't like it when that drawer does that. Sometimes it just comes undone for some reason. It's just silly. Okay. The first deck that I did was one is the Monad deck. And I don't use this one very often. So when I first did this deck, I was delighted. There were some pictures that I was like, well, definitely could have been better. But at the end of the day, I was proud of myself because I did it and I finished them. And there were so many of the pictures that I just loved. Hi, sweetie. I came on late today. How are you? So just do it. And I actually reset up my house. So now I can have my art supplies set up again so that I'll paint more. Look at us. Then we're on time. Yeah, it's just been raining all day. When I looked at the weather, I think it said like 12 millimeters. Yeah, and wind chill, because it was 9 degrees, but feels like 7. Happy summer. Happy Father's Day. Enjoy the rain. No, I'm in Alberta. Alberta. I have lived in Alberta. I have lived in British Columbia, Alberta, and Ontario. Yeah, I've lived in the 3 provinces. My son lives in Nova Scotia, though, so I have driven from coast to coast. And then traveled around the world, but because of the flight nurse stuff. All right, we need another card. I said we need. Apparently, that card has to be the card. And I might just pick up the other 2 and call them the cards too. Oh, beautiful. And you mean into BC? That's really awesome. Yeah, I've driven through there quite a few times, probably 10 at least, which is nice. Okay, so we've got a couple of things. We're going to look at the clear boundary because this might be important for somebody. Somebody may need to be exercising some boundaries. So the clear boundary is healthy boundaries protect my energy. Boundaries define responsibility. They support honest connection. Saying no preserves alignment, and it does. It's so much better if you are clear and you direct in the beginning. Let's say if you took somebody who is interested in you, but you're not interested in them. If you're upfront right away, you're going to spare a lot of pain, right? Like that makes sense, right? It's even the same thing if you got a job offer. The longer that you wait to say no, the more that you're going to delay that company from finding, the person that they're looking for. And you just want to stay in alignment, right? So it's just answering what is true for you, doing what is right for you. So answer for you and just be honest to whoever it is in whatever alignment is for you. Because we do too many things in the wrong way. So this one here is to identify one misaligned request and decline it with one sentence. Do not over explain. We do that too. No is a complete sentence, but because people expect answers or explanations, because I mean, we've been doing it for so long, and many of us over explaining over and over, right? So when we stop doing that, people are like, wait a second, where's the explanation? Where's the rest of it, right? Carol's like, I'm coming over on this one because she's looking at me more over there. You can ask any question you want. I always say it this way. You can ask any question you want. I reserve the right to answer it. If I don't like the question, I'll go, no, I'm not going to answer that. I'll be honest about it. All right. So then we've got the shared responsibility. The shared responsibility is I am connected with all life. Remembrance, recognizing commonality reduces isolation and judgment. Connection supports cooperation. Respect improves interaction quality. So the practice is to make eye contact, offer a simple kindness, and continue without expectation. Hello, love. How are you? How was your day? How was your Father's Day? Wish Vince a happy Father's Day for him. And then the balanced life. I create harmony between effort and rest. Should be a balance between effort and rest. We're not meant to be doing all the time. And many people don't actually rest properly because we rest with a lot of stimulation, and that's not real rest. Balance is dynamic, not fixed. Overextension leads to depletion, under engagement to stagnation. Adjustment maintains momentum. So identify one task to pause, take a 10-minute rest, and return with one focused block. What was the question that you wanted to ask? Okay, do you like your premiere? Oh, like, what do you mean? And I don't, like, all politics is, so it's all a sham. It's all a sham. It's all a show. That's what I really truly believe. It doesn't matter left or right, black or white, green, orange, purple. People, it's just they all go out and drink together and they're all pushing for the same thing. It's all about control, and it's not those guys that are running it. It's people much, much higher up that run the show. They're just their puppets, and they do not care about us. They do not see us as anything more than cattle. I think what is being done around the world is, I'm the only reason I'm happy about things coming to light is because we can't change things if we don't know that they're happening. So we need it to come to light, and that's very uncomfortable, but we have to have it come to light. So yeah, it's got to come to light. But it is all a sham. It is all a sham, unfortunately. Mm-hmm. Hello, say hi. Oh, do you want to hear the channeled message for today? I never recorded it again. I didn't record it again. Oh, no, that's the wrong one. Yeah. And everyone above it. So I started writing this the other day, and then I finished it this morning. So when I do my channeled messages, like I said, I breathe, I get into state, I regulate my nervous system, I connect to my oversoul, and I ask for a message for the collective. And this is what came out between yesterday and today. If only you could see yourself through my eyes, you would know how perfect you are, and the only thing I've ever wanted for you is for you to see yourself fully and to enter into relationship with me. You don't need anyone to have that relationship. In fact, I would prefer it if you and I had our own personal relationship. You don't need someone to tell you how to behave, what to think, or how to come to me. I am everywhere. I am in the space around you. I'm in the trees and plants. I'm in the animals, the air, the water. I am fire and earth. I am ether. And ether is the unifying field. It's consciousness. It's me. I'm always with you, listening and waiting for you to remember me. Not the person they have convinced you that I am. I would only be a man if I chose to incarnate into a physical form, which I have through you. I am energy. I am sacred geometry expressing itself. I am alive. I am the light that fills your heart. Unless you choose all the things that oppose me and you reject me, I will be by you waiting for you to remember, waiting for you to call me in. But for those who deny me and deny life, I will only stand by. I will withdraw until you choose me again. Please enter sacred relationship with all life, for where you find life, you find me. I thought it was a good message this morning too. And I was, the one story that I was saying recently is that I stood there in the mirror the other night and I was just looking at myself and I was just like, you know what? Thank you for being normal, right? Thank you for not going and, doing anything to alter how I look. Thank you for not, going and buying into anything that I had to do something or I couldn't just be who I am. And I realized that I was just really grateful that I was human, right? That I was completely human. I'm not augmented in any way, right? I haven't, and I was just really happy with that. And the energy that I received and the message that I received in that moment was, so was source, so was creator, so was the field of consciousness. The field of consciousness was so happy that I was happy that I was human and I just was so accepting of exactly how and who and what I am without needing or wanting to change anything, just being. And yeah, it was a really, really interesting spiritual experience. So yeah, it's really, 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 really fascinating. As I've spent time with the field, the more that I spend time with the field, I understand a little more. And one thing, I've spoken about how the field's alive. It's like sacred geometry unfolding and, and moving. And it's showing basically the flower of origin. And there's other sacred geometry that you see revealed within the stream of consciousness and, the field. But the other thing that I realized, or the thing that I realized in the last time that I interacted with the field very openly, is that the field is alive, but it's alive in the sense that it moves up and the field actually will come up and look at you. It will form a shape and it will come up and look at you, but it's not physical. It's not solid, but you can feel it, you can touch it, you can interact with it, but it's not solid, but it's alive. Will the field challenge you? You're in the driver's seat. It's completely free will. Will the field ask you or nudge you in the right direction? Will it try to give you guidance or insight? Or absolutely. And sometimes it will interfere. If you did something that was like you weren't meant to die, right? If you weren't meant to die at that moment and something was happening, the field would interfere in that. It would interfere in those moments to save you because that's not your time. But for the most part, you're completely free choice. You have free will to make the decisions that you do, including walk away from all things that are about life and choose all things that oppose it, right? We can go out and choose to like think of ourselves as nothing, right? Mm-hmm. The field it's loving, it's supportive. Yeah, it's, I don't even, it's, yeah. I'll think of how to describe it more as I interact with it more. But it just, one thing that I learned from the field is that it just wants you to be grateful, right? And the gratitude in the sense, like, I'm sitting here in this beautiful home. I'm sitting here in this beautiful home on this beautiful property. And I could sit there and talk about things I don't have, but I can tell you, what I can say is I'm very grateful, and that's all I should be. I don't even have to think about anything that I don't have. I can just look at everything that I do have and be very grateful for that. And the way that I show the gratitude is by how I care for it. When I'm in sacred relationship with all the stuff around me, then I'm showing the consciousness field that gratitude, right? And so then I get that, then when you're like, thank you for that. Like, I appreciate this so much. I appreciate this home that I have. I'm so grateful for the wall, like for everything. Like, I love this house and I'm going to take care of it and I'm going to clean it and I'm going to love it because I'm so grateful for it. And then the field of consciousness goes, wow, she's like, give her more. She's so grateful for that. Give her more. And that's not why I do it. I'm literally beyond grateful for what I have. But gratitude is the key. It's just the way that, it's just being thankful for your life, being thankful for all of it, even the experiences that were tough, even the things that challenged us. Those things are oftentimes our greatest teachers. So we should thank them even more. I learned more with the things I didn't get right than I did with the stuff that went easy. Everything that came easy, what am I learning from that? Probably not a lot. I'm just accessing all the good stuff I already know and I'm good at, right? But when I'm learning something and I'm struggling and I'm having to, really, really figure it out, well, I'm probably gaining a lot of knowledge and a lot of skills and a lot of, growth in those moments. Right. One of the things I like about the one card that I have, the 5 of Fire, I think is the one. I know it's the 5 of Fire, but I'm pretty sure it's called the Crucible. 5s are the crucibles, but the 5 of Fire, if you let conflict be the crucible for change, right, then you can, it's a powerful, powerful thing. Whenever you have a disagreement with somebody, there's something that you can learn from that. The 5 of Fire reminds you that conflict is a crucible for transformation, whether this is external competition or inner turmoil. The key is to harness the fire, refine your approach, and emerge stronger than ever. Right? And the thing is you're not even you're not broken. There's nothing wrong with you, right? We were born into this veiled experience. Most of us have experienced traumas. If we didn't experience trauma, then we probably got intergenerational trauma that was passed down to us through our parents and everything else. And they say it's 7 generations back that we pick up, like that we carry the trauma through. So, it's a long time. Oh, hang on, I gotta do my puzzle. Boop. Yeah, I'm always good. I mean, it was kind of funny. So it took me a bit to realize I was watching the field and I was, seeing the sacred geometry and I was seeing all kinds of symbols and I was seeing all kinds of things. And I was like, the field's alive and the field's the field of consciousness. And I was aware of all of that. But there was one moment where I'm like looking at it and and that was when I realized that it was actually like embodying a form of some sort, and was like almost curious because I was interacting with it, right? So it was almost like, oh, hi, you are you checking? Huh, huh. And then when I clued in that what I was interacting with, thank you. Come back and hang out with me again, Pop. I go live on Sundays and Wednesdays. Wednesdays at 7:30 p.m. Mountain. Sundays at 6 p.m. Mountain, typically. And on Saturdays at 10 a.m. Mountain. And on Saturdays, we do a really cool meditation. Have a great night. Yeah, it was like, you see me. Right? It was so cool. And then when I clued in, God, right, or source, creator, when I clued in that, it was like literally like, good job, kiddo. You figured it out. Like, it was like, I felt it, and I laughed. I just laughed. I was like, okay. I took a small moment to just put it all together, but man, once I did, then wow, that was just amazing. And there was lots of other messages that I received in the experience. Messages like, the most beautiful thing that you can do is own your humanness, and and be grateful for this experience of being human. And that's where it leads you to the whole thing that, there's so many things out in the world right now that are happening that are absolutely against life, whether it's toxins in one area or another, and we know they're out there, or it's wars, or it's whatever it is, right? All the stuff that's going on, there's so much that's opposing life. And we are meant to look at that and be like, no, 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 no. We don't. We do things for life. We uphold life. Life is sacred. Mother Earth is sacred. The elements are sacred. Every living being is sacred. Even the unseen beings that you're not aware of, they are sacred. And when we step back into that and remember sacred relationship, that's how we're going to restore the earth, because it's the field of consciousness. The more of us that sit in that energy, the more the field will reciprocate that energy. And that's what will become the energy of society. Right? And it's already happening as each one of us is healing. And you know what? There's a lot of rise of the divine feminine, because they've been talking about this whole, like, we're in this patriarchy, right? And in a lot of ways, yes, absolutely we are. But neither one of the energies is in the healthy expression of it. Both masculine and feminine have been shown in very toxic ways. Right. My body, my choice, being an OnlyFan, that's not feminine. That's not divine feminine. Right. That's just like, that's not, I'm sorry. It's just not, and same thing with the, like with egomania that's going on. That's not divine feminine or masculine anything. Right. So we need to be healing both energies, and that is happening. There are many of us that are doing the work on that. And as we continue to work on it and it continues to grow and change, then eventually that divine masculine and divine feminine energy becomes balanced. And that's what we want. We want it balanced. We don't want it run just divine femme. We don't want it ran just divine masculine either. It has to be balanced. And it's in the sacred relationship. It's the two that come together, right? Everything is a triad, right? When we think about it. And that triad is you, like Carol and I, we have a wonderful relationship. So it's me, Carol, and the field of consciousness or source consciousness in between us. That is within that relationship as well. Because the relationship isn't just me and Carol, it's me, Carol, and the field. God's with everybody all the time, in every relationship, right? We just don't remember. And once you recognize that, then you can start having that sacred relationship in all spaces that you're in with all the people that you're with. That doesn't mean that, you bow over backwards for people. That doesn't mean that you don't have boundaries. That doesn't mean that any of those things, like you still have, that's why you would have boundaries even more so. What's mansplaining? Is what mansplaining? There's actually a guy on there. He on TikTok that I saw that mansplain, like he does. He talks about women's things, but he does a fantastic job. But that's his whole stick, is that he's a man. He's mansplaining menopause or something like that. But he does a really good job on it. But yeah, that's the only thing that we need to do is remember our sacred relationship. Oh, interesting. Oh, look at that. I opened it up all the right to the channel, right to the page. We can talk about the difference between embodiment and escape, since we're doing embodied spirituality today. So this is a rough draft of the book that I'm writing called Embodied Spirituality. The difference between embodiment and escape. Many people unknowingly use spirituality to avoid the discomfort of being human. This can look like avoiding difficult emotions through constant positivity, seeking spiritual highs instead of emotional healing, obsessing over signs, synchronicities. I'm like, did I read this one already? I think I did. Did we read chapter 2 already, Carol? We did. I'm looking at that part there and I'm like, yep, we did. We did. Well, chapter 3 is intuition, inner listening, and the language of awareness. Relearning how to listen. Most people were not taught how to listen to themselves. They were taught how to perform, how to achieve, how to suppress, how to push through, how to stay productive, how to ignore exhaustion, and how to override discomfort. Many people became disconnected from their bodies long before they ever began exploring spirituality. They learned to distrust emotion, to question their instincts, to dismiss subtle feelings, to intellectualize every experience. And over time, the constant noise of modern life made inner listening even more difficult. Phones, notifications, pressures, stress, comparison, endless information. The nervous system rarely receives silence, but intuition often speaks quietly, not through force, not through panic, not through urgency, often through subtle awareness, a feeling, a pause, a sense, a realization, a shift in the body, a quiet knowing that something matters. This chapter is not about becoming psychic, it's about relearning how to listen, because many people are trying to access higher awareness while disconnected from their own internal experience. Embodied intuition begins with presence. What intuition often feels like. Many people expect intuition to feel dramatic, but often intuition is surprisingly calm. It may appear as a quiet inner knowing, a subtle body sensation, emotional resonance, sudden clarity, an internal pause, a repeated feeling that gently returns, creative insight, symbolic imagery, a shift in energy or attention, a recognition that something feels aligned or misaligned. Fear usually feels urgent. Intuition often feels steady. Fear tends to spiral. Intuition often simplifies. Fear pressures. Intuition observes. This does not mean intuition is always easy or emotionally comfortable. Sometimes intuition asks us to rest, slow down, tell the truth, set boundaries, change direction, acknowledge grief, leave situations that are unhealthy, or stop abandoning ourselves. But even difficult truths often arrive with a deeper sense of clarity rather than chaos. The challenge is that many people struggle to differentiate intuition from fear, trauma responses from inner knowing, emotional projection from symbolic meaning, nervous system activation from genuine clarity. This is why embodiment matters. The more connected we become to the body and nervous system, the easier it becomes to observe our internal experience with honesty. The body as an instrument of awareness. The body constantly communicates information. Before the mind forms a complete thought, the body often responds first. Tightness, relief, warmth, expansion, heaviness, contraction, ease, agitation. I call that the prickly, like getting like a porcupine. I feel like I have like spikes. Many people ignore these signals because they have been conditioned to live almost entirely in the mind. But embodied awareness invites us to observe the whole system, not to become hypervigilant, not to obsess over every sensation, but to notice patterns. For example, you may notice certain environments leave you feeling calm and regulated. Some conversations leave your body tense for hours. Creative inspiration increases after rest and silence. Overstimulation reduces clarity. Your body relaxes around emotionally safe people. Your breathing changes when something feels misaligned. The body is not always giving literal answers, but it is providing information. Embodied intuition means learning to listen without becoming consumed by interpretation. Observation first, meaning second. Symbolic awareness. One of the most misunderstood aspects of spiritual exploration is symbolism. Humans are naturally symbolic beings. We create meaning constantly through dreams, stories, art, emotion, memory, religion, mythology, language, and imagination. During meditation, journaling, dreams, or reflective states, people may experience symbols, colors, archetypes, recurring images, animals, landscapes, phrases, memories, or metaphors. These experiences can feel deeply meaningful, but symbolism is not always literal. A dream about water does not automatically predict an event. A recurring animal image does not necessarily mean a supernatural being is contacting you. Sometimes the mind communicates through metaphor. Sometimes the nervous system processes emotions symbolically. Sometimes subconscious awareness uses imagery to express deeper truths. The goal is not to become obsessed with decoding every experience. The goal is to become more reflective and aware. Ask, what emotions arose? What associations do I personally have with the symbol? What was happening in my life at that time? What might this reflect emotionally, psychologically, creatively, or spiritually? Healthy spiritual exploration leaves room for mystery without demanding certainty. Intuition and emotional healing. One reason intuition can feel confusing is because unprocessed emotion often speaks loudly. Fear, loneliness, grief, longing, shame, anxiety All of these influence perception. This is not weakness, it is part of being human. Sometimes what people interpret as intuition is actually fear seeking certainty, emotional projection, unresolved attachment, hypervigilance, wish fulfillment, avoidance of discomfort. This is why emotional healing supports clearer perception. The more emotionally honest we become, the easier it is to observe our inner world without immediately reacting to it. Embodied spirituality does not shame emotion. It invites us to become aware of it. You do not need to become emotionally perfect to explore intuition, but emotional honesty creates a stronger foundation than spiritual performance. So I have some reflection questions. When have you experienced moments of quiet inner knowing? I know Carol gets it all the time. I know you do too, Leslie. Your intuition's very awake. You're tapped into your intuition pretty good. Right? What does fear feel like in your body? And then you can ask yourself, well, what does calm clarity feel like in my body? What environments help you hear yourself more clearly? Right? Pay attention to those environments where you feel more grounded, more balanced, and you're more connected to yourself. Do you tend to overanalyze your inner experiences, or do you dismiss them too quickly? And what helps you feel grounded and present? I can't wait to put this whole book together. It's going to be fun, especially when I add the little bit extra to it. All right, we did chapter 3. Maybe we'll read chapter 4 on Wednesday. I think on Wednesday we're going to read Sha'Ryah. We're going to read Sha'Ryah. So I did this ceremony. I will upload it to my channels. Definitely to the Temple of Light group on my webpage, or like on my site. I'll put the ceremony up there, and then when it dries out and I can do the remainder of the ceremony, I'll do that outside, and then I'll put that up as well. And like I said, I do. That's interesting. Comments came back from that person when I said, like, I banned them and deleted their comments, and then all of a sudden, just boom, all the comments showed back up. So I don't know if the person like copied them from the other one and went on my other live, but now at least now they're banned from both lives. So problems with multiple channels, right? Is you have to remember to get people on both of them. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Huh. Offending people today. I am, I guess. That's okay. It's okay. Yeah. Some dude, it was just weird. Like, he got super offended and I don't even know why. right? And then he started saying about, like about life and the earth and all of this stuff. And I'm like, yeah, like I just married the earth today. Like I did a sacred ceremony with the elements and everything. Like I don't understand why you're like whatever. And then mentioned about, yeah, I'm talking, basically threatened in a offside way, but then, like with the comment about, yeah, I'm talking life and death. And I was like, what? Like, what? I don't even understand why you're like chewing me, like why you're like coming at me. I didn't do anything. I don't even know what is wrong with you, buddy. So yeah. Yep. It's a weird one. Was a weird one. I have a divine law that I have to write. A divine law that I have to read to somebody, I mean. Yeah, it was weird. But I have to get my crystals back, because normally I have in front of me, I have my arrowhead that is tourmaline. No, it's onyx. And then I have like black onyx, and then I have a tourmaline pyramid, and I also keep selenite bar in front of me. So to clear the negativity and for protection. So I usually have them sitting in front of me, but I took them into the other room to use them as part of my ceremony that I did. So I have to bring them back and put them in front of me clearly. block those energies. But yes, there will be reactions to the frequency for sure. Mm-hmm. So what are you doing for the rest of your evening, my love? Yeah, I guess at this time. Right? Yeah, I'm not sure. I'm not sure what I'm going to do. Couple of things. I got my table all set up. So I have my art supplies. I can't wait to talk to you tomorrow. I can't wait to talk to you tomorrow. I hope tomorrow the rain stops. I painted today. Carol, I painted today. I think I brought it in. I did too, Carol. I brought it. And then I ripped it. I ripped it when I took it out of the book. Yeah, I was like, dang it. Next time, take it out better. But yeah, it's so cute. I was so happy. I was like, yay, I'm painted again. Yay, I painted again. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I'm very happy with it. Yeah, I can't wait to talk to you tomorrow. But yeah, I think I'm going to head off now. It's 8:45. Yeah, I'll show you tomorrow when we talk on the phone. I'll show you what I did with the house and how I have it set up. So I have my art supplies and stuff. I'm so excited about it. So excited to be able to just, mwah. Love you guys. You have a beautiful night, and I will see you guys on Wednesday at